My storage is my apartment.
Hey, that's still a warehouse space technically.
Okay, sure.
So
I
it's
mean,
like
yeah.
location A is your closet in your apartment, and then B would be brick and mortar 1 and brick and mortar 2.
Basically.
Hello, everybody. I'm Jared.
Hi, I'm Melinda.
And welcome back to The Secret Life of Inventory. It's a show where we talk about all things inventory.
In today's episode, we're joined by a special guest from our local home in Toronto, Monica. She's the owner of SnaptureThis, which is a retail gift shop that specializes in beautiful paper goods, florals, and gifts. She also sells wholesale through Fair, which is an online marketplace where retailers go to discover their next best sellers from independent brands across the globe.
She also has a really great business strategy where she does a lot of community collaboration. She teams up with local artists, local small businesses. She does pop-up initiatives as well. So she's going to be sharing her story today, some of her challenges, being a small business owner and how she kind of solved those challenges.
Not just that, but Monica also started her own podcast called Sip It, where she dives deep into the cafe scene in Toronto. And she also interviews small business owners to learn about the entrepreneurship journey.
So she's definitely juggling a lot. So we're glad that she found the time to come and join us today and talk. Thank you for coming.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Yeah, of course. Awesome. So you want to maybe just kind of run down, give everyone who you are, what you do, what business you have?
Sure, absolutely. So I'm Monica. I am the owner and founder of SnaptureThis, a paper goods and gift shop in downtown Toronto. I've been doing this for a long time. So I started in 2014 and I started as just an e-commerce website on Etsy. And since then, I have opened up my storefront in Toronto and have gone on to do many other things, expanded my product line, done pop-ups, events, lots of other very cool things.
2014, that's 10 years.
I know, it's a decade.
I
made it a decade. I don't know if I'll do it another decade, but we'll see.
So, that kind of brings us to our next question is when you started this business, what are some of the big challenges? I know what most people know that when they have to rent a space, they're gonna have to pay rent and stuff like that. So that's no shock, but is there anything that kind of surprised you or anything when you first started out?
I mean, there are so many challenges with running a small business. When I first opened my shop, this was really meant to be just a fun little side hobby of mine because I was into graphic design and home decor and liked cute girly things. So this was meant to be just something for fun. And then the shop kind of blew up during COVID. And in 2022, I saw a for lease sign and decided to sign on a brick and mortar. And that comes with a whole different set of challenges, from just juggling everything to balance to cost to, the list goes on. If you ask any business owner what their struggles are, how long do we have? So it varies, but the biggest thing starting a brick and mortar is definitely upfront cost of everything from a security deposit to advance payments to the signage, which can cost you $2,000. The list goes on, and then we can get into the more nitty gritty, which we're obviously going to talk about, tracking inventory and just all the day-to-day things that come up with running a business.
Yeah. How do you find the balance between selling retail and also online?
Balance. How do I stay caffeinated. That's
coffees are there.
Yeah, I showed up with a coffee for sure. But other than that, it's really being super organized, letting go of things that are out of your control, asking for help. The biggest struggle is there are not enough hours in the day, and you have to try to do as much as you can, and you can only do so much. Yeah.
So we're going to get into the nitty gritty now of kind of your business workflow. So for other small businesses that kind of are wondering, what the day-to-day kind of looks like. So I got to ask a question, obviously, secret life of inventory. How do you manage your inventory?
Well, I try my best. That's actually a huge challenge in my business. And since I opened, I didn't realize how complicated this was. So when I first started, I was only online. I worked out of my 580 square foot apartment, and my inventory was sitting on my counter. Yeah. So that's what I had, and that's all I had to track. And I only sold on Etsy. And then it became, okay, well, now I'm going to sell on Etsy, and I'm going to sell on Fair, which is a wholesale platform. And then now I have a brick and mortar. So now I have things in the shop. And now in the last 3 months, I signed on a second, just a pop-up lease at Stacked Market. So cool I now have 2 retail locations. So it's definitely a challenge. I do use a third party integration system that helps me track things, but at the same time, it's very challenging. And I face little questions that come up that, like, if a customer comes into the store and buys something off the shelf and that is also available online for purchase, now what do? I just sold a crew neck twice.
Yeah.
So it depends on what I'm selling. So my products some of them are kind of print on demand. So I can sell as many cards as I want and as many prints as I want, and I can always reorder them. But when it comes to apparel, which is I only have whatever it is X amount, then it becomes complicated. And I'm not at the point in my business where I have like set stock for only wholesale and set stock only for in person. I'm just trying to sell.
Yeah.
So it's very complicated, and it's a huge challenge, and this is not something that I knew would be a challenge when I first started this.
So I'm just happy to hear that you're using software and not spreadsheets. Because we've so many people we know, like a lot of the people who come to inFlow are like coming from spreadsheets, and it just becomes like a disaster.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, inFlow would be great for like solving a lot of those issues. Again, I'm not trying to push it on you or anything
No
like
plug.
that. Yeah,
This is your chance.
Yeah, but
This
we're
was
great
not
for
staged either.
For multiple locations, things like that. We're really great for all the problems that you have. Of course, like we don't try and push our product on anybody. We have a hugely high retention rate, like 98%, which is so basically if you start using inFlow, 98% of the people continue to use inFlow. We have very, very few people who stop using it. So we're very honest up front to people who come to us. So again, not pushing.
No, it's hard to find a good software that works. It's also if you are going to sell on Etsy and Faire and Shopify and whatever other platform you use, it's hard to find something that integrates into all the platforms that you use, and everyone's different, right? For me, I needed something that was going to work for those 3 platforms, but you kind of, as a small business owner, you sign up for something and then you're just like, okay, this is just kind of working. But at some point in the business, you have to stop and reflect on like what you've been doing. Is it actually really working? Is this really benefiting your business? Is it helping you excel? So it's
figure
great.
it out along the way.
100%.
Do you use barcodes for tracking your inventory?
I wish. That would be so great for me. It's something that's been on the to-do list. Now I've had staff in my shop, and I'm going to continue to have staff as of August. So I'm reaching that point where I need a better system.
Right.
Because I have it barcoded in my own brain, and it's, like I just know how to find things in the system.
Right.
And it's like, oh yeah, this is called the DVP card. And my staff are like,
I gotta like transfer the info from your brain to their brain.
how are we supposed to know that's what it is? So barcodes would be really helpful. It's just little things. It's hard to know, do I put the barcodes on things that are getting shipped out as wholesale? Like, do they want my barcodes on it? That's kind of annoying. So it's trying to, I'm really at this like middle point, both in my lease, like for my brick and mortar, and just mentally in my life, where I need to shift my business, and this is like a really great kind of turning point to get more organized, use better systems, just reshift what I've been doing for the last 2 years.
Right. So you mentioned that you have two brick and mortar locations. You sell on wholesale as well. Do you have a separate warehouse that you store your inventory at?
That's hilarious. Yeah, my brick and my storage is my apartment.
Hey, that's still a warehouse space.
Okay,
technically.
sure.
Yeah. So
I
it's
mean,
like location A is your closet in your apartment, and then B would be brick and mortar 1 and brick and mortar 2.
Basically. Yeah. So I live across the street from my shop. So
Well, that's convenient.
it's become kind of the dumping grounds for anything that doesn't fit in I have this little cupboard in my shop. My shop is 320 square foot. Okay. So a very tiny portion of that I call is the Harry Potter cupboard, and it's where everything gets stored. So anything that doesn't fit in there and in my shop goes to my apartment.
Okay. Fair enough.
I don't recommend.
And how do you? I mean, you said you sell through Etsy, you sell through you have a Shopify store, correct?
Fair.
Yeah.
And I believe you said like DMs and stuff like that too. So you have all of these different places that you're getting orders. Like, how do you fulfill all these orders?
You got to do what you got to do.
So you're just fulfilling them yourself. All your wholesale orders as well, and everything.
Yeah, I'm doing everything myself. I mean, I'm very grateful. I've had some people helping me over the summer because I'm physically at Stack 12 to 8 every day, except Mondays. So I can't do it all. So I've had to train staff on how to fulfill those orders for me, which I'm super grateful for. But yes, I do everything in-house.
Wow, that's awesome. So this is something that actually comes up a lot with people who are trying to start a small business. You know, they have an idea in their head, they have a product line in mind, but it's like, how do they get that product in their hand to sell to their customers? So like, how do they find manufacturers? How do they find suppliers? I think that's a big, question for a lot of small businesses. So how did you find your suppliers and manufacturers?
It's a long process. It takes a lot of time. You lose a lot of money, but you just got to do your research. And sometimes it's just, going into local shops and asking them, like, do you print on tote bags? Do you print on t-shirts? Sometimes it's just Google. It's fantastic. My only thing is, don't ever ask another small business who their manufacturers are. That's like a no-no in our world.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, it's offensive because it's like, I've spent all these years finding a really fantastic manufacturer. You think you can just
like a shortcut,
send me a message and be like, who's your manufacturer?
So it's like the secret recipe.
It's just like, I've put in so much work. Like, why? Like, put in some research. I don't mind if someone has been like, I have used these 5 print shops and they're not working well for me. Any advice? Like, anything. Can you help me in any way? Like, I don't mind something like that. But if you're just new and you're just going to be like, where do you get this? Then that's offensive.
Yeah, it depends like how they ask.
Yeah, 100%. So, I mean, I ask people all the time about things, but it's like how you word it. But when I first started, I was using Staples. Because it was just accessible and I knew they printed. And over the years, I've tried other print shops and
a lot of trial and error.
Yeah, and built relationships. Like, my manufacturer for my tote bags and crew necks and like apparel and print is all done locally. I use all local shops.
That's great. Yeah,
I know the owners. I've like built a relationship with them. So you should also try that. And if I tell people all the time about who my manufacturers are. If they're people that I know have been in the industry for a long time, are looking for someone new, could use like the extra help. Like, I don't mind sharing, but just careful how you word it.
Yeah, fair enough.
Definitely like the vibe.
100%.
And do you use like the same ones, or do you kind of like have like, if this person can't fulfill my order, I'll go to this person kind of thing? Do you
I'm pretty standardized. Like, my printing is all done in one place. My apparel, like clothing, is done in one place. My tote bags are done in one place. And they've all been with me for years now and have really been amazing.
Family after all those years.
Yeah, they're great.
So I do want to, like, you have a lot of awesome products. I love the design on your products.
Thank you.
I've like, obviously Toronto has a special place in my heart, so all of that local stuff is fantastic. I'm just curious, you said you have a background in graphic design. Do you design everything yourself, or do you have help with that?
I definitely don't have a background in it. I just enjoy it.
Oh, okay.
I am not qualified to call myself a graphic designer. Photoshop is fun.
Yep, it is, yeah.
But yes, I do work with so many local illustrators who really have helped me become the business that I am. Without them, I would not have the business that I have now. So in 2021, I had this idea of reaching out to local cafes because it was like pandemic times and I was really pushing the support local. And for me, like, the coffee industry is definitely my favorite thing ever. So I reached out to an Instagram friend who has like some level of graphic design, illustrator design, and asked her if she'd illustrate a coffee cup for me because I had seen this done in I think it was in New York, and I didn't love the style of it. Like, it was very flat, it had like a hand in it, and it just wasn't like the style that I liked for like a print. So I asked her if she'd illustrate this one cup, and she did it, and it was so cute. And I was like, okay, I'm going to reach out to 12 cafes. I'm going to see if they'll say yes. If they say yes, let's do this like support local cafe print. And that was the turning point for my business. So we launched the print. It crushed. Like, it did so well. People loved it.
Yeah, it's great.
And it just became this like rolling concept of like working with local illustrators, featuring small businesses, featuring things in Toronto that we all love. And it just like blew up from there.
So how do you choose? I think at this point I've seen, I don't know if there's more, but I've seen 4 versions of the coffee print. So you've now at this point, I don't know what 20 times 12, you've featured a lot of cafes.
Yeah.
Do you choose them, or do you have some of them reaching out to you to kind of ask to be featured?
No,
subtly?
I choose.
Okay.
Based on your favorites?
I mean, so I do choose. I won't say my favorites, because I'm now on version 5.
Oh,
So
okay.
I have lots of favorites, I guess.
Yeah.
But for the ones in Toronto, I have to have visited them. I have to give it like a check mark that like, yes, like I like their coffee. And it was just a lot of like research. I go to so many cafes. I'm at a cafe every day. So
Yeah.
the list is super easy, but the only thing is the cafe has to say yes to me. And there are instances where people say no.
Really? Wow.
Yes.
Okay.
So-
that is actually shocking to me.
Like I can give you a little story if you want.
Yeah.
Of course. Yeah, please.
So when I did the first print, one of my first cafes that I ever visited in Toronto was Balzac's. And it was just a really special place. It was where I took people. It was my first like introduction into like cafe. And I reached out to them for my first print, and they said no.
Oh, really?
Wow.
And I was heartbroken. I was like, wait, what? No.
That must have changed though, correct?
It
Yeah.
did change.
Okay.
Because
thank
you
God.
interviewed the
So it has a
CEO.
good ending.
I did.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Podcast.
they said no, and I get it. It was the logo is trademarked. Like there's copyright that goes into it. There's a
Right.
designer that does the logo. So it was just like they said no, and
Yeah.
it's fine. Like that's totally fine. They're entitled to say no. So I tried again. I did the second print. I asked them again. I did a coffee roaster print. I asked them again, and they said no to me. And
Persistent though. I love that. Just
yeah,
keep going.
I tried. I
Complicated
had like
process,
phone calls with them. I had meetings. I sent a PR box to them. I sent a PR box to Arlene Dickinson, who's also like from Dragon's Den, and because they're affiliated, they went on Dragon's Den. So I tried,
Yeah.
and I got no's. And then in 2022, like January, I got a DM from the CEO asking me to put Balzac's on the print.
But did she know that you
Wow.
applied before?
So she was a new CEO. She had started in
Okay.
December. She
Okay.
came across my work.
Yeah.
She had asked if I would do something with them. And I was like, please be on my print. I have asked.
Yeah.
I was like crying. I was like, this moment. And I messaged my best friend, and we had like exchanged DMs being like, Balzac's will come back to you. I keep saying their name wrong too. They're like Balzac's. But we had exchanged these DMs, and we had like, we call it our like manifested moment.
Yeah.
So they came back and they said yes.
You
So
know, you definitely worked hard for that moment.
oh
Yeah.
yeah, I had to have a
Put the time
call.
in. Yeah.
Yeah.
I had a call with the guy who said no to me, and I was like,
Wow.
hi.
That
No,
is the
you're
best
gonna say
call.
yes. So yeah, it was great. So
that's
but
awesome.
I've built a really great relationship with,
Yeah.
with her. So I'm grateful.
Yeah, I remember listening to your podcast too, how like the cafe scene is like really important to you because you have a lot of special memories there. So was that the inspiration behind your podcast, or like what sparked you to start it?
The podcast started off as a joke between my best friend and I, thinking we are both entertaining and both funny people to listen to, and thought we should have a YouTube channel. And we kind of joked about this. Like, I've been friends with her for over a decade.
Yeah.
And then I had a conversation with Daniel, who is the co-founder of Creator Club, and he's a part of King Street Media. And I had a conversation with him. He was a customer and enjoyed the cafe scene. And we talked about how I would love to have a podcast one day. And he turned around and came back to me and asked if I would like to do the first season with Creator Club. And they're the media company for a lot of like different podcasts. So they kind of offered to do my first season. So I told my best friend at the time, I was like, you and I are going to do this podcast for the first season and see how this goes. So I put together a list of who I wanted, and cafe owners are definitely my favorite people to talk to because I'm just really interested in how they run their business and the coffee scene, and just I like to talk about coffee. So that was my like first choice of people to invite, and then it just kind of expanded from there to other business owners, entrepreneurs, Instagram people, influencers, the list goes on.
So what would you say, who's like some of your most memorable interviews? I don't want you to like pick favorites or anything.
Yeah, I'm definitely not picking favorites. I've done 2 seasons now. I've had amazing people. I'm really grateful for everyone that said yes. When you have a when you're first starting a podcast, everyone's like iffy about coming on it. Like you have no leverage to be like, okay, well look at what I've done, look what I've had. Like
we
it's
know
like,
that
it's hard.
We wanted to interview guests first, but we're like, who are we?
Exactly.
We start ourselves first.
Yeah, we had to start with
it's
just
all
the
about the
bare bones.
confidence.
Too, yeah.
Thank you. I'm just really confident. I don't know. I'm just like, what are they gonna do? Say no? Like, who cares? So I DM anyone I want. Like, I shoot for the stars.
That's awesome.
And if they say yes, fantastic, they'll come on. So I definitely had like Christine from Balzac is definitely a moment for me. And having my best friend beside me and getting to have that conversation with her was really special. I'd also say Sam James, who is a cafe coffee roaster in Toronto. It was a really like sweet interview, and him and I talked afterwards, and he told me how his mom watched the podcast, and this was like the first time she ever heard him tell his story, and he like gave me a hug, and it was really cute and like just a moment for sure.
So cool. Yeah.
And then I've had Maha from Maha's, who's a restaurant brunch spot in Toronto. They've been like Michelin star stamped or whatever their term is, and she's so sweet and so talented, and just runs a really cool restaurant in the city. And my other best friend passed away like a year ago, and her and I got to go to that cafe and met Maha together. So again, it was just that like really special moment of like business owner, but like has this like emotional tie to me. So yeah.
So I mean, you've definitely interviewed a lot of very successful small business owners. So I'm curious if you learned anything from how they run their business that you kind of have implemented in your own business.
I've learned so much from these conversations, both on camera, off camera. Having this network is really incredible. The biggest lesson would be to roll with the punches. As a business owner, you have a fire to set out literally every day. And there is disasters and things go wrong, and there's just so much to deal with, from staffing to equipment going wrong to literally floods and fires and all sorts of stuff. So you have to roll with the punches. And that's the common theme I kept hearing from different business owners. Yeah.
Another thing actually you mentioned, I mean, a lot of your guests mentioned on your podcast, I noticed was how big of an influence BlogTO has had and can have on a small business. And for the viewers who aren't from Toronto and don't know what BlogTO is, BlogTO essentially is just a giant media company. I would kind of liken it to like maybe like a local Vice maybe kind of thing. But yeah, they have a very huge influence. And if you're featured in BlogTO, it's kind of like known as like the golden ticket, because you just get a huge influx in business from it. So I was wondering, like, how did it end up that you were featured in BlogTO, and how would you kind of recommend other small businesses kind of get in touch with, their local media conglomerates?
Just slide in the DMs. Like that's your first point, and then all of these media companies have a form you can submit as to why they should feature you. I got really lucky. Tiana from BlogTO was the girl who came into my shop and did the storytelling. I think she's a great storyteller. She's moved on from BlogTO, I'm pretty sure.
She freelances now.
Yes, she's such a sweetheart. I had her on the first season of my podcast too. I've run into her at so many different like events and things. She's so sweet and has a really great way of storytelling, and I got really lucky. Like she was a fan of the business too, and just the way she shared my story was amazing. And yes, you do get a huge influx of people coming in from it. I had a sign on my shop being like, "Mom, look, I made it on BlogTO." When that happened. So it was a really cool moment for sure.
Yeah, it's a big moment for anyone from Toronto. Like, we all know BlogTO. So like, it's, oh my God, BlogTO. It's like, you definitely made it at that point. Yeah, for sure.
When you were featured on BlogTO, did you have trouble to inventory then if the sales went like...
I mean, it was all in-person traffic. So it wasn't online. It was all in person. which I'm grateful. I'd rather not have to pay for shipping for things. So it was great.
So I was actually, one of the ways that I was introduced to you was through, you did a pop-up initiative with, I'm going to butcher this name. I always do.
Try, come on.
Gouter.
No, Gouter.
Gouter.
There is no I.
Yeah, I knew I was going to butcher it anyway. So you did a pop-up with them. They do these delicious croissant donut things. But I just thought that was such a great idea for you to kind of, because I mean, my wife and I went in there, we got the croissant donuts, and then she bought a tote bag, a shirt, you know, so it was a great way, I think, to get people kind of in your shop, and you're also promoting another small business in the area as well. So like, are there any other like pop-up initiatives or collaborations or things like that that you do?
So far, the most successful has definitely been the Gouter collab. And I think that's for so many reasons. One, I'm good friends with Bianca and Rodney who run Gouter.
Okay.
And just have developed like a really great friendship. I was just at dinner with them the other night. Like I talk to them every day. She literally just called me. Like we have a really great relationship. And I think the success of businesses doing these pop-ups is that like true relationship and true connection between business owners. And I've done so many pop-ups and so many collabs over the years, and that one was definitely the most successful. We hopped on a really popular trend. We both have really great crossover of brand. We came up with a list of influencers to send treat boxes to beforehand to really to boost the views and everything. And it was, again, when I work with influencers, it's people that I know. It's people that I've met, had conversations with, have worked with multiple times. We didn't ask any of them to post. Like we didn't pay them to post. They all offered to create content. It was like authentic.
Yeah,
like
they
we talk about
genuinely loved it,
authenticity, and this is true authentic relationship and community coming together. It was the anniversary of my shop, so it worked perfectly. And the product that they make is fantastic. I can stand by it. I support it. I love everything they make. So, and they're huge fans of mine. They rock my merch. They come to my shop. They boost my brand. So it's like that right relationship.
Right. So, I mean, it's obvious that you have a really strong community online. Was that kind of planned? And it seems like you're very much a part of that. Like you are your brand in a lot of ways. Like SnaptureThis, you model all of the product, the clothing and the products and everything yourself. Like you're very much, your personality seems to be kind of ingrained in the brand. Was that always the plan, or did it kind of just like happen that way?
When I first started, I didn't show my face. I didn't talk on camera. I didn't share anything about my personal life. And then I reached the point where I was like, you know what? What's the worst that can happen? So I showed my face, I talked to the camera, and I built those relationships and those friendships and community, and people related to me as not only like someone who enjoyed like going to coffee shops and creating this like really fun like coffee merch and Toronto merch, but this girl living alone in Toronto and going through life in Toronto while juggling a small business. So I talked a lot about like my breakup. I talk about my relationship. I talk about like good days and bad days and financial struggles and success and really cool moments like the Balzac's moment. So I am my brand for sure. And a lot of people want to separate themselves from their brand. And I understand it's hard to move on and get an investor and build your brand to be this like separate entity, but I'm so tied to it and love it, and I love the community, and I meet customers for coffee all the time, and I meet friends on Instagram and business owners, and I love it. Like I love what I'm doing, and I love the like community that I'm building.
Yeah, I'm sure people can connect with you more too, like seeing your face as well.
100%.
Yeah, it's really raw, and I think it's very real, and I think that's what people probably are connecting with so much, you know.
Do you ever struggle with privacy then, like how much you share online?
I mean, there's definitely like a line, like there's like, you have to, you know, worry about your safety and privacy as a woman living alone in Toronto. But for the most part, I'm kind of just like, it is what it is. Yeah. And I know what to share and what not to share, and don't feel like I've overstepped in any way. And people just want more, and I'm fine with it. Like I don't mind.
So something I thought was really cool is you have done an initiative called Monica's Cafe. Do you want to talk a little bit?
Cafe Monica.
Cafe Monica, of course. Yeah. So
It's fine. Whatever.
yeah, Cafe Monica.
Call it whatever you want.
My apologies. My apologies. We're
It's fine.
rebranding it. It's now Monica's Cafe.
Oh, okay. Hold on.
So Cafe Monica, do you want to talk a little bit about what that is for the
Sure.
audience?
So I saw a video of this guy doing a event where he turned his apartment into a coffee shop in, I think it was in Boston. And it was so cool. He has a really aesthetic, beautiful apartment. Not what I have. But I was like, I'm going to see if anyone's done this in Toronto. Because I don't like just like copying, and I don't like doing like the same thing. I needed it to be different.
Right.
So no one had done it in Toronto. So I turned my 580 square foot apartment into a coffee shop for the day and kind of put it out there to all the businesses that I work with and was like, if you want to donate anything to this event, would love it. I'll take cups, I'll take ice, I'll take coffee, I'll take whatever you got. And everything was donated. So from the coffee beans to the ice to the cups, literally, I think I only paid for whole milk.
Oh, wow.
I didn't pay for the oat milk either. Like, that was also donated.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And it was so kind. And I had 50 people in my apartment.
That's a
I had to kick people out. It was supposed to run till 1 p.m. At 1:30, I was like, get out.
Yeah.
We need to continue our lives in this apartment.
Yeah.
But it was amazing. It was so much fun. It brought together like friends and people from the coffee community and business owners. I had like cafe owners that came and took time out of their lives to come. I had a friend who's a barista that like offered to help me for that, and she did pour overs, and it was just like really great community coming together.
Yeah,
This
it's really
shows
cool.
like how strong your community is, and like,
Yeah, it's
giving that chance to
amazing.
network.
Yeah, totally. I mean, something I've noticed on the podcast, it seems like a lot of the people, it seems like your reputation kind of precedes you in the cafe community. Like you were talking to the owner of Mizeka, and she'd said like, oh, I saw you came in and like I knew it was you, you know, like people know that they better have their iced coffee ready to go when you walk through the door kind of thing.
I love that. I love having my order ready for me, which I do in a lot of cafes. When I walk in, they do know me. The baristas know me. And it's like a really, like, I love it. I'm also such a baby when it comes to it. Like, I'm a very like hard shell, like tough cookie. But in those moments, I'm like, oh my God, like it's so special. It's like such a cool moment. I was at Neo the other night they turn their like cafe into a bar at night, which is like a really cool concept. And the barista there recognized me from like the other location that I go to, and she like is always the one that makes my iced Americano at the other one, and she knew that I didn't like the ice. They have different ice at different locations because one has the bar, which has like the bigger ice cubes. I know, weird. But she knew that I don't like that ice.
Yeah.
Wow.
And she was like, oh, but I have to make the cocktail out of this. I was like, no, it's fine. Like, of course, like do your thing. But it's just so sweet. And I have those moments all the time where people, like being recognized is like such a special moment and like so cool. And people are always coming up to me in the shop and they're like, I know it's like kind of weird, but like I know your life. And I was like, yeah, I put myself out there. Like it's totally fine. Like, thank you for saying hi. Like this is why I do it.
Right. Do you ever have any like new like cafes opening up that are like reaching out like, hey, you should come visit, you know what I mean?
I do usually
like
get like a
sponsored.
follow. Sometimes I get like come by or whatever. Some of the cafes like invite me to like future events that they host. Like Pilot has been amazing to me from the start, and they are such a huge company, and I've built like a really cool relationship with them, and they've given me free like beans and mugs for even the podcast, and just have been really good to me and offer me free things all the time. And it's really amazing. I'm trying to step into like the influencer world a little bit now. So
I feel like you're already there because you're like, because you're like filming yourself going to different cafes.
I would love more invites, but yeah, I love going to really cool events, especially in the cafe space.
All right. So you have SnaptureThis, you have Cafe Monica.
Well done.
And then you have all of these other things that you're kind of juggling. You're going to be starting a new job soon as well. So like, how do you like it? do you kind of meld them together in any way, or do you kind of want to keep them separate as their own kind of separate things?
There are things that I like to keep separate, and there are things that just naturally all come together. So I think content wise, I do share the juggle of I have a 9 to 5, or I'm going to have a 9 to 5 soon, and the shop and events and Cafe Monica and the podcast. So I share my life on there. But at the same time, I've tried to kind of separate. I mean, I definitely don't want people like showing up to my corporate job or anything like that. So there's a fine line. But even with the Cafe Monica thing, like I've tried to, I'm not selling product at those things. And it's not meant to be like a SnaptureThis event. But obviously, I'm going to post it on SnaptureThis that's where my audience is.
Right.
And there is crossover. So I think you just have to kind of go with the flow and like see what works naturally and adjust. If it's not working, then you adjust.
Yeah, for sure.
So with everything that you're doing, what are your future plans looking like? Or like, what is your dream?
My dream is to open a cafe/shop in Toronto.
Okay.
So that's where that SnaptureThis Cafe Monica crossover can come
Right,
together.
right.
And that's definitely the dream.
Now, what's the name of this going to be? Do you have a name?
So
I
people
guess?
have said to stick with the Cafe Monica.
Okay.
I think that's a little cocky.
To me,
All
to
right,
your own
all
name
right.
in
It's
it,
just
or-
like, yeah, it's just like, really? But like, I mean, my name's so easy to like pronounce. Some of these cafes, like their names are just like, what? Like, I can't even remember it.
Yeah, one of your favorites you were mispronouncing, and it's your favorite cafe.
Well, I mean, it's,
Well, one of them.
well, he's a writer. So like, it's named after the writer, like Honor Balzac. So
Oh,
like,
okay.
it's not about me. They're just-
It's a them problem.
Yeah, it's a them problem. They actually have a really funny TikTok asking people like, how do you pronounce it?
Oh,
But anyways,
nice. Okay.
side note.
Your previous, your last podcast episode, you also interviewed the owner of Jimmy's Coffee, and you're like,
I
oh,
did.
Jimmy's like an easy name.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. It's such easy. The branding that I've come up with is like a spray painted Cafe Monica over SnaptureThis, which I kind of like. And like, it just works. So I don't know. We'll see.
In development.
Yeah.
You can feature your own cafe on your next product line for
I mean,
coffee, right?
I should.
Yeah.
So you mentioned how you're working a 9 to 5 job soon. How do you feel about that? Like excited?
I have mixed feelings. So I'm excited. I'm nervous. It's a lot to juggle.
Because you're still running your own business, and you've been running your own business for a long time.
100%. And there is like a bit of a decline having staff in your shop versus yourself, right? No one can sell your products and sell your business like you do.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's tough, and it's definitely going to hit like financially for me, but I hope the community continues to support and shows up and helps me, you know, grow my brand. And, you know, we'll have to see. I don't mind. Again, it's the go with the flow, like adjust, see what you can do, and we'll have to see. But I mean, living in Toronto, you guys
expensive,
probably
right?
know
That's
it's so expensive.
Yeah.
I got bills to pay. I have a future to pay for.
Yeah.
And right now the economy is definitely taking a hit. So we'll see. We'll see
Yeah.
how it goes.
So what are some things that you had to kind of put in place now that you're kind of, I mean, obviously staffing was a big one. Was that pretty much the biggest thing you had to worry about?
Definitely. And I've had staff in there for 3 months, but it was very different because I was still much more free to answer my phone and answer questions and train them. And, you know, I still would go into the shop and print the labels. So I didn't put too much on them versus now I can't answer my phone all day long when I'm at the 9 to 5. So it's an adjustment, but training and staffing is the biggest struggle, I think, for business
Yeah.
owners.
Must be tough, like letting go of that, like control, like trusting someone.
Oh, I
You're
know.
so used to it.
It's like your baby, you know, like
It is
all
my,
grown
it's
up now.
me. It is my baby. It's literally, you know, you built it from the ground
Yeah.
up. You came up with the name and the structure and the products, and it's hard, and no one will sell it like you do. No one feels, you know, as emotionally tied, and a mistake to them is, you know, they're just going to
It's just
their
job.
job.
Yeah.
But like for me, it's like a hit. Like if you put the wrong stamp, if you don't put a stamp, if you know, send it to the wrong customer, it's like I have to answer those messages in the
Yeah.
end, and it's my business.
yeah,
So
they
it's
clock out
my
at the end of the day, you
reputation.
don't. Yeah.
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 I think we've we've kind of covered it. I think,
Yeah.
I think we got it all.
Awesome.
So that's a wrap for this episode. Thank you so much for coming and joining us today and talking about all this fun stuff, Monica.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
So yeah, if anyone has any questions or comments, please leave them down below. Let us know if you want us to cover any specific topics in the next episode.
And for listeners who want to know more about you, where can they go to find you and support you?
Yeah, so you can find me on Instagram or TikTok, any social media at SnaptureThis, or you can find my website at snapturethis.ca. And if you're on Fair, I'm also on Fair.
Awesome. All right. Thanks so much for coming
Thank
again.
you.
All
Thanks
right.
for having me.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.